Hey everyone, welcome back to Shqipify, your channel for learning the Albanian language in a fun and clear way. Today we're talking about something very useful, modal verbs in Albanian. It was actually requested by one of you in the comments, so please always make sure to let me know what you would like me to cover in our next videos or if you have any questions. I will always try to explain everything I can to the best of my abilities. Modal verbs are small but powerful words that help us express ability, necessity, desire, permission, or possibility. Things like can, must, want to, or may in English. In Albanian, we have words like mund, duhet, dua, do, etc. Let's look at how to use them with examples, pronunciation, and a short story at the end that includes them all. So what exactly are modal verbs? In Albanian, we don't call them modal verbs, but we call them helping verbs or half-helping or auxiliary verbs. The structure usually goes like this. We have the modal verb plus to plus the verb. So it is always followed by subjunctive. To plus the verb is the formula for our subjunctive mood. For example, unë mund të flas shqip. I can speak Albanian. Unë mund të flas shqip. We have mund here, can, which is a modal verb, and it is followed by të plus the verb flas. Mund të flas. I can speak. Or ti duhet të studiosh. Again, you must study. Ti duhet të studiosh. We have the modal verb duhet plus të studiosh, which is the subjunctive, të plus the verb. Notice how the modal verb changes the meaning of the sentence. Without it, it's just I speak Albanian or you study. But if we add the modal verb, I can speak Albanian, the meaning is different. I don't just speak Albanian, but I'm showing that I have the ability to speak Albanian. And you study, you have to study, or you must study. So it expresses the necessity that you don't just study, but this is an obligation that you have to fulfill. Alright, let's go through the most common Albanian modal verbs one by one. But first, allow me to explain that we have core or true modal verbs in Albanian and other verbs that behave in a modal way, like modal verbs. So, according to the Academy Grammar, Gramatika e Gjuhës Shqipe of the 2002, Volume 2, and most modern linguistic descriptions, only a few verbs in Albanian function as true modal verbs. That is, verbs that are semantically modal, express ability, necessity, probability, etc., and syntactically act as auxiliaries or helping, combining with another verb in a non-finite or subjunctive form, to plus the verb. So those verbs are actually mund, duhet, do, and kam për të plus the participle. So that's the first group, and the second group are other verbs that behave like modals, but are lexical. Verbs like dua, dëshiroj, lexoj, guxoj, preferoj, they can express desire, intention, permission, or courage, which are semantically modal, but grammatically they are treated as main lexical verbs, not true modals, because they conjugate fully in tense and person, and they retain their own meaning. To want, to allow, to wish, they have their own meaning in the sentence, rather than serving purely a grammatical or auxiliary function. For example, unë dua të fle, I want to sleep, it's a lexical verb, I want, so it has its own meaning. So with that clarification, let's look at the core modal verbs in Albanian. First, we have mund. It translates to can, or may, or might. It's the same mund in Albanian. So it expresses ability or possibility. For example, unë mund të këndoj mirë. I can sing well. Unë mund të këndoj mirë. Ata mund të vinë më vonë. They might come later. Ata mund të vinë më vonë. Okay, moving on, we have our second modal verb, duhet. Duhet. It translates to must or have to, and it expresses an obligation or necessity. For example, ti duhet të punosh më fort. You must work harder. Ti duhet të punosh më fort. Ne duhet të jemi të kujdesshëm. We have to be careful. Ne duhet të jemi të kujdesshëm. Our third core modal verb is do, which translates to needs to, and it expresses necessity. This is mostly used maybe in the south, in the Tosk dialect, and also in written language. You might hear it, but not as common as the other ones. For example, kjo pjesë do bër me kujdes. This part needs to be done carefully. Kjo pjesë do bër me kujdes. Ky libër do lexuar ngadalë. This book needs to be read slowly. Ky libër do lexuar ngadalë. So, if you can notice, we have the modal verb do, and then it is followed by the participle, bër. For example, done, kam bër, I have done, or kam lexuar, I have read. This book needs to be read. The main verb there is actually dua, to want. So technically we're saying this book wants read slowly, but literally it does not make any sense, so it translates to needs to, but that's just where the word came from. Okay, moving on to our fourth and last core modal verb is kam për të. I have to. Kam për të. For example, kam për të studiuar shumë. I have to study a lot. Kam për të studiuar shumë. Kemi për të shkruar një ese. We have to write an essay. Kemi për të shkruar një ese. As you can see, it's just the verb to have, but here it is used as a modal verb because it does not contain the proper meaning of have, but it is an auxiliary verb and it changes the meaning. Here the meaning is an obligation. I have to do something. Very well, now we move on to the second group. There are some other verbs that behave like modals. I've only included 3 here, but it's not an exhaustive list. These are the ones that are mostly used. Number 1, dua, I want, or I want to. For example, unë dua të shkoj në plazh. I want to go to the beach. Unë dua të shkoj në plazh. As you can see, the structure is the same. You have the verb dua, and then it's të shkoj in the subjunctive, të plus the verb. Ata duan të hanë drek. They want to have lunch. Ata duan të hanë drek. Number 2, dëshiroj. I desire or I wish. For example, ajo dëshiron të udhëtoj. She wishes to travel. Ajo dëshiron të udhëtoj. Unë dëshiroj të pi një gotë verë. I wish to drink a glass of wine. Unë dëshiroj të pi një gotë verë. Again, these are lexical verbs. They're not modal verbs, but they act like modals and they follow the same structure in the sentence. And our third and last one, lejoj, I allow. Lejoj, from leje, permission. For example, të lejoj të hysh. I allow you to enter. Të lejoj të hysh. Mësuesja lejon nxënësit të flasin. The teacher allows the students to speak. Mësuesja lejon nxënësit të flasin. Now let's see all these verbs together in one short story or paragraph. Unë dua të mësoj mirë shqip, sepse duhet të flas me njerëzit këtu. I want to learn Albanian well because I must speak with people here. Miku im më tha se ai mund të më ndihmoj dhe mësuesja lejon të përdorim fjalorin gjatë mësimit. My friend told me he can help me and the teacher allows us to use the dictionary during class. Ndonjëherë unë dëshiroj të flas si një shqiptar I vërtet, por e di që kjo mund të jetë e vështirë. Sometimes I wish to speak like a real Albanian, but I know that might be difficult. Nesër do të praktikojmë më shumë dhe unë nuk duhet të harroj fjalët e reja. Tomorrow we will practice more and I shouldn't forget the new words. Po të punoj çdo ditë, mund të bëhem shumë I mirë në këtë gjuhë. If I work every day, I can become very good at this language. One more time, only in Albanian. Unë dua të mësoj mirë shqip, sepse duhet të flas me njerëzit këtu. Miku im më tha se ai mund të më ndihmoj dhe mësuesja lejon të përdorim fjalorin gjatë mësimit. Ndonjëherë unë dëshiroj të flas si një shqiptar I vërtet, por e di që kjo mund të jetë e vështirë. Nesër ne do të praktikojmë më shumë dhe unë nuk duhet të harroj fjalët e reja. Po të punoj çdo ditë, mund të bëhem shumë I mirë në këtë gjuhë. So there you go, the most important modal verbs in Albanian. Try making your own sentences with some of the modal verbs that we learned today. Write them in the comments below and I'll correct or reply to a few of them in the next video. If you're serious about becoming fluent in Albanian, please send me an email at shqipify@gmail.com, which you can find in the description below. If you like this lesson, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video to help others learn Albanian too. Bashk do të shihemi në videon tjetër.